Hello, my fellow actors. Welcome back to Casting Actors Cast, the podcast for actors from a casting director. I'm Jeffrey Dreisbach, and today we're talking about something every actor experiences, but almost no one talks about honestly enough. The slow period, the quiet stretch, the stretch where nothing seems to be happening. Today's episode, we're going to be talking about moving forward when nothing seems to be happening. You're going to love this. This is Casting Actors Cast.
Casting Actors Cast, what a show! With Jeffrey Dreisbach, we're ready to go. From agents to gigs, learn what you lack. Tune in every week, we're bringing you back.
You've done more auditions than a casting director has said, thanks, we'll be in touch. It's time you got serious and learned acting strategies, audition secrets, and tips to grow. Get the Actor's Playbook for Getting Cast. Booked It by Jeffrey Dreisbach. Available right now. Also introducing Next Level Auditions, the online video course. Why not get both? Call it the Ultimate Audition Toolkit. You won't find these on sale because they're worth every penny. If you're serious about your acting career, this is your next step. This is your moment. Let's make it count. CastingActorsCast.com. Well, hello and welcome to today's episode of Casting Actors Cast. I'm casting partner Jeffrey Dreisbach with the McCorkle Group in New York. How are you? Hope you're having a good day. I'm having a good day, and we need to talk about those slow periods that actors sometimes find themselves in and what to do about it. So this is going to be very much practical, hands-on, really usable pieces of information, I think, that might navigate those muddy waters. I was an actor for 20 years before I became a casting director. I've been casting for the past 17 years. And I think that this is something that, as I mentioned in the introduction, is not something that a lot of actors spend time on. But we're going to address that directly. But first, this is that moment of the podcast where I get to say thank you so much for tuning in to Casting Actors Cast. It's been such a pleasure bringing you these podcasts over the past several years, and I am so grateful that you're still out there listening. By the way, if you like this particular episode or any episode, it would mean so much to me if you could leave a review, especially on iTunes. If you could leave a review, a like, a share. It's been so much fun being on the Broadway Podcast Network. And I also want to alert you about the website, castingactorscast, alloneword.com. There you're going to find a place that you can fill out a form that says dive into the talent pool. That opens up some freebies for you, a free book on voiceover work. Also, there's a free video called Casting Secrets, What They Don't Tell You. You'll also see all kinds of other stuff on the website, Jeff's Jots, which are corresponding show notes to each of the episodes. My book, I'm so excited about my book, is now doing really, really well. And I would love for you to check it out as well. You can find it on the website called Booked It, the Actor's Playbook for Getting Cast. And then also there's a course that's available called Next Level Auditions. I think that there's all kinds of really fun stuff there for you. I really want this to be a site where you can feel supported. You can get inside information from a casting director on a regular basis. And that's why I'm here. All right. And here's my shout out to my good friends at Actors Connection, actorsconnection.com/New York. You should check out their online courses as well. All right. Thank you for that. So let me start with something that I want you to really hear. I really need you to hear this. A slow season does not mean a failed career. I need to say that again. A slow season does not mean a failed career. Every working actor you admire has had them. Long ones, confusing ones, frustrating ones, periods where auditions stopped, calls slowed, emails went quiet, representation went silent, momentum disappeared. And here's the dangerous part. Silence can feel just like judgment. But guess what? It's not. Silence is not a verdict. Silence is a season. The problem is most actors interpret stillness as rejection. They think if nothing's happening, something must be wrong with me. And that thought is a real threat, not the slow period. Because once the actor believes something is wrong with them, their energy changes, their confidence shifts, their presence tightens, their joy disappears, and casting can feel that instantly. So today we need to build something practical, a real, usable professional strategy, what I call your momentum plan. I promise you, this is not motivation. It's not hype. It's not wishful thinking. It's called momentum, because momentum fades, momentum carries. Let's define momentum in acting terms. Momentum is not auditions. Momentum is not bookings. Momentum is not callbacks. Momentum is progress you control. Actors who only rely on outside validation always feel stuck because their progress depends on someone else saying yes. Actors who build internal momentum never feel stuck because they always have forward motion available. Momentum is created by action, not results. Results come later. Action comes first. The biggest misconception actors have is this: they believe momentum starts when opportunity arrives. It doesn't. Opportunity responds to momentum. Casting notices actors who are in motion. Why? Because motion signals commitment. Commitment signals professionalism. Professionalism signals reliability. Reliability gets hired. So let's talk about what actors usually do when things get quiet. They wait. They refresh email. They check submission sites. They wonder why their agent hasn't called. They replay old auditions in their head. They compare themselves to other actors. Waiting is the fastest way to lose momentum because waiting is passive. Momentum requires activity. Now, I'm not saying that you should exhaust yourself or hustle nonstop. This is not about burnout. This is not about panic productivity. This is about intentional forward motion, small, consistent actions that keep your creative engines running when the industry engine is idling. Now, here's the first principle of momentum. Separate activity from outcome. Most actors only feel productive when they book something, but booking is an outcome you cannot control. Preparation is. Training is. Creation is. Connection is. Those are controllable. When you measure your progress by controllable actions, you always have movement available. That is professional psychology. Let's talk about the second principle. Quiet seasons are skill building seasons. Working actors use slow periods differently than struggling actors. Struggling actors interpret silence as failure. Working actors interpret silence as training time. They sharpen skills, they update materials, they strengthen relationships, they study scripts, they work on voice, they work on movement, they work on presence, they improve their instrument because they know something important. Opportunities come in waves. And when the wave arrives, you either ride it or watch it pass. Preparation determines which ones happen. Let's talk about the third principle. Momentum is visible. Casting can see when an actor is engaged with their craft. It shows up in auditions. It shows up in confidence. It shows up in ease. Actors who stay creatively active during quiet seasons walk into auditions differently. They feel warmed up. Actors who wait until the opportunity often appear and walk in cold. Cold actors tighten. Tight actors push. Pushing reads as effort. Effort reads as nerves. Relaxed readiness reads as professionalism. Professionals get called back all the time. Now, let's build your emotional momentum plan. 5 categories. If you move forward in these 5 areas every week, you will never feel stuck again. Category 1, craft. What did you practice this week? Not perform, practice, rehearse. Scene work, cold reading, listening drills, self-tapes, script analysis. Craft momentum builds confidence. Confidence builds presence. Presence books work. Category 2, materials. Did you improve your tools? Headshot updates, resume, refinement, reel editing, clip selection, website polish. Materials are your ambassadors when you're not in the room. Strong materials create opportunities. Weak materials delay them. Category 3, relationships. Who did you reconnect with this week? Did you connect with a casting office? Did you contact a coach? Maybe talk to some classmates, or maybe some directors or writers or collaborators. Acting careers are built on relationships, not submissions. Relationships create invitations. Invitations create auditions. Auditions create bookings. Here's category 4, knowledge. What did you learn this week? Did you watch a film analytically? Did you read a script? Did you study a performance? Did you listen to an industry interview? How about working on a dialect? You see, knowledge deepens choices. Deeper choices create richer auditions. Richer auditions get remembered. Here's category 5, creation. What did you make? A short scene? Maybe you wrote a monologue? Maybe you did some self-tape practice. How about a collaborative project? How about voice recording, character study? Creating reminds you that you are not waiting to act. You are an actor right now. Creation generates energy. Energy generates confidence. Confidence generates momentum. If you touch all 5 categories in 1 week, you are moving forward professionally, whether or not you have an audition. That is power, because you are no longer dependent on permission to grow. Let's talk about emotional momentum right after this. Welcome back. We're talking about emotional momentum. We're just going to do that for a moment because mindset actually matters. You see, actors often lose momentum emotionally before they lose it professionally. They get discouraged, they compare, they doubt, they spiral. But here's the truth. Comparison is the fastest momentum killer in existence, because comparison focuses your attention outward instead of forward. Someone else's career has nothing to do with your timing. Casting doesn't hire 1 actor per lifetime. Casting hires thousands. Your job is not to beat other actors. Your job is to be ready when your moment comes. Now let's talk about timing. The industry runs on timing you cannot see. Projects stall, funding stops, schedules change, roles get rewritten, directors get replaced, entire productions disappear overnight. If you interpret slow periods as personal failure, you misunderstand how the industry actually functions. Much of what affects your career has nothing to do with you, and that should be freeing, because it means silence is not a judgment of your worth. It's often just logistics. Let's talk about one of the healthiest mindset shifts you can adopt immediately. Replace "why isn't anything happening" with "what can I move forward today?" One question creates frustration. The other creates action. Action restores power. Power restores confidence. Confidence restores joy. Joy restores creativity. And creativity is magnetic. Magnetic actors attract opportunity. Now, here is something casting directors love. Actors who stay ready. Not actors who get ready. Stay ready. Because readiness is visible. You can see it in posture. You can hear it in voice. You can feel it in presence. Ready actors feel grounded. Grounded actors feel trustworthy. Trustworthy actors get hired. Let's talk about the final principle of momentum. Consistency beats intensity. Doing one huge career push once a month is far less powerful than doing small professional actions every day. Momentum is not built through bursts. It's built through rhythm. Working actors create rhythm. They show up, they practice, they learn, they connect, they create. Not occasionally, regularly. That's the truth. When I was a working actor, I had those lean times, just like any other actor has. And what I told myself, which was really helpful, is I said to myself, if I could do just 3 things a day toward my career, I can put my head down on my pillow at night and say that I won. Not that it was a winning-losing situation, but I was a winner if I could accomplish those 3 industry things. What does that mean? Well, that means going to a movement class or a voice lesson, going to an audition, showing up at an audition, making a meeting with a rep, an agent, a manager, going to the library, reading a play, reading a script, analyzing a television show or a movie. Those are the kinds of things that I had on my checklist. 3 things a day toward my career. And that was absolutely magical. That maintained what level of sanity I actually had during that time. Now, before we close, I want to tell you something I have seen again and again and again in casting. The actors who work the most are not the actors who panic during slow seasons, that's for sure. They are the actors who use slow seasons. They use them. They treat quiet time as preparation time. They treat waiting time as building time. They treat silence as rehearsal. And when opportunity arrives, they're not hoping they're ready. They know they are. Now, if you take one thing from today's episode, let it be this. Momentum is not something the industry gives you. Momentum is something you build. If this episode helps you redefine a slow period or reminded you that forward motion is always possible, share it with an actor who might need that reminder today. And if you want more real-world casting insight, audition tools, and professional strategies, be sure to follow Casting Actors Cast and visit castingactorscast.com, where we help you prepare smarter, perform better, and book more. I'm Jeffrey Dreisbach. Thanks for listening. Now, go create momentum.
From monologues to screen tests to every app